Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Barry, one half of Mitosu Crafts, and we are your independent Stampin' Up demonstrators here in the UK. Today I will be showing you how to create a beautiful card using products from the new Autumn Winter catalogue, which is now available to purchase from via our online shop. Our online shop is open to anyone living in the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands or Austria, and a link to our online shop can be found below. Also, whilst you're there, please feel free to hit the subscribe button to our YouTube channel for future videos, or search Mitosu Crafts on any of the other social media platforms to follow us there for even more inspiration. So, on with the show. Today, I will be playing with the Perfectly Plaid stamp set here. Okay, and I will also be playing with the new Basic Patterns Decorative Masks, which are these ones here. This one in particular is what I'm going to be playing with today. It comes with 4 masks in here, and you have got, let's just get these out, you have got some trees. Okay, you have also got some dots. Let's just move. So you've got some polka dots right there, trees right there, and you have also got a repetitive pattern. Oops, got tangled up. We've also got this repetitive pattern here. We did something with this over on our channel on Sunday, just gone actually. So have a little look back on our previous ones and you'll see something. We did the white crafting technique using this stencil here. But today what I'm going to do is I am going to be using this one right here. Now, I think somebody said that the style of this one is a bouquet. I think I'm saying that correct. Bouquet style. I think that's what a lady told us anyway on the comments. So I hope I've got that correct. So it's this this bouquet style, and we are going to make a Christmas card out using this with the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. I'm also going to be using the Delicata Golden Glitz ink pad here. We'll also be using the Shaded Spruce Gold striped ribbon, which is this one right here, and anything else which we'll be using. Obviously just your basic stuff as well here. We're going to be doing a little bit of heat embossing, so I'm going to be using, so it's going to get a bit noisy later on, so we're going to be using a bit of gold embossing powder. So obviously we will be using Versamark as well. I have got my embossing buddy right here, and we will be obviously be using Stampin' Dimensionals, and we have got our trusty trimmers and our scissors right here. But obviously the main things which is new in the catalogue is these bits right here. Perfectly Plaid stamp sets, Shaded Spruce and Gold striped ribbon, Delicata Golden Glitz pigment ink, and the Basic Patterns Delicate Masks. So here is the catalogue. Now I can show you the inside of this quickly here. So the basic Perfectly Plaid stamp set here, wrapped in plaid sweets, is all of this. Lovely set. It's on page 13 of the new catalogue. Lots of inspiration over here for you to be able to create some new stuff. And you've got all of the items here. The papers are absolutely lovely in this one here. We've done a few things with the papers as well. So again, have a little look back. You have also got the see, they hide from me the Basic Patterns masks, which are over on page such and such. Where is it? There we go, page 35. You've got the Basic Pattern masks down here, so you can order those ones if you wish, and the ink pads will be in there somewhere. I'm not going to go through and tell you exactly what pages they're on, because you can quite easily find them yourselves, and no doubt you probably found them already if you've got a catalogue. If you haven't got a catalogue, remember, you contact us. If you live in France, UK, Netherlands, Germany or Austria, contact us and we're quite happy to send one of these out to you. Obviously if you live in any one of the other countries, it will be an English catalogue, but you can download as well the German and the French catalogues via our website. We've got the links on there to download the PDF versions of the French and German catalogues if you wish. But if you want a physical copy and don't mind it being in English, contact us and we will quite happily pop one in the post to you. All right, so great. So what I've done already is I have already, let's just give myself a little bit of room here. I have already prepared my card materials. Okay, so I am going to be using shaded spruce cardstock. Okay, and this measures 21 centimeters that way by 14.5 centimeters this way, and it has been scored at 10.5 centimeters. That's to give me my card base. Okay, then I have taken a bit of very vanilla cardstock and I've cut this down to 8.5 centimeters, okay, by 12.5 centimeters. And I have then got a bit of cherry cobbler cardstock and I have cut this down to 7.5 centimeters by 11.5 centimeters. So it's 0.5 millimeter, or it's 1 centimeter, isn't it? Smaller all the way around. So give me a nice border. So that's basically going to sit on there like so. All right. Then I have got some cardstock, some very vanilla cardstock here, which I've cut down to 7.5 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Okay, and this is where my sentiment is going to go, which is going to line up like that. So that basically is the layout of this Christmas card. It's very simple, but it's going to be, hopefully you like it. Well, I hope you like it indeed anyway. So the main part really is what we're going to work on, we're going to work on this bit here. I am also going to do some stamping on this one. So I'm going to do some stamping on this for the sentiment first, because what I want to do is, because I'm going to be using the Delicata ink pad. It's a pigment ink, so it's quite a wet ink, so it just needs a little bit of time to dry. So if I'm going to stamp this first, put it to one side and let it dry. Okay, so I'm also going to be using my Stamparatus for this. So I've got my Stamparatus here with the, this is also another new item which is in the catalogue as well. It's a new, normally it just comes with a black mat. They've brought out this foam grid mat as well now, which is good, which is suitable, which is perfect for the photopolymer. If you're not using photopolymer, you just take that over, and if you're using rubber, you use it on this one here. Photopolymer, put the foam pad in, and it's suitable for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this right in the corner over here. I'm just going to pop these down just to link that in place, like so. I'm going to take my ink pad here. You can do this by hand if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I find that if you want to intensify the colour on this, you want to do it a couple of times, and it's very difficult to realign up again if you're doing this by hand. So we're just going to stamp that over like so, and there we go. All right, and I'm just going to do it one more time. Just ink that up, and we'll bring that over. And we're just it just intensifies it just that little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove my magnets here, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, you can see that it's got a nice glitter. There you go. It's just catching the light now from outside. It's got a nice gold well, it is gold shimmer effect. I think that looks really beautiful, and that's going to look really nice on the front of the card like that. All right, once we finish with that. So whilst I've got this open, I'm just going to take my chamois, which is slightly damp, just to clean off the stamp. Okay, the chamois is a must-have if you've got a Stamparatus, or if you've got any of the other stamping platforms out there. I would say the chamois is your must-have. It's your friend, because you can see how dirty that is. It doesn't transfer the ink over onto your fingers. Obviously it will do if it's really fresh, but it dries in there quite easily and quickly. It doesn't really transfer any of the ink over, like especially if you use wet wipes. You'll know what I mean. If you use wet wipes, the ink transfers over to your fingers. You get inky fingers. You go and pick a bit of cardstock up and then wonder why you've got your fingerprints everywhere. This doesn't do that. Okay, so I would highly recommend, if you haven't got one of these, that you think about getting something like this as well, because the chamois, I think, is just a great bit of kit. Okay, and it's just perfect for doing this. We store ours in one of the DVD cases, which you can get, and you can see we've also punched some holes in our DVD case, so that it allows, so when it goes in here and it's damp, and we close it up, it allows it to breathe a little bit, so it allows a little bit of air to circulate through the case, so it stops it from going mouldy and stinky, which some people have said that they do, but obviously they then put a damp thing in an airtight container. Obviously it's going to go a little bit bad. So just, if you do this, make sure you put some breathing holes in your case as well. So that is actually my stamping done for today. Really, really simple, and the main part, so is to put this to one side, so I don't want to put my fingerprints on it. The main thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to now work on the mask. So grab your cherry cobbler bit of cardstock. I'm going to grab some removable tape here, so grab some low tack tape or removable tape, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to fold that up in half. I'll stick that to the back, and then I'm just going to stick that down, because I don't want that to move, okay, too much at least. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this bit of paper down as well. So I'm doing this on a bit of scrap paper. Because I'm going to get it's going to get Versamark's going to go everywhere, so I don't want Versamark on my back. So then I'm going to take my Bocade. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. Please correct me if I am wrong again. Nice patterns. So we are going to centralise that in there like so. Try and get that pattern as even as we can. That's it. Going to take some of my removable tape again here, and just stick this in place, because now see what I don't want to happen is I don't want the cherry cobbler to move, and I don't want the mask to move. So that is now all in place. Nothing's moving. Okay, that's nice and solid. So take your Versamark. Going to take this, and all you're going to do now is you're just going to Versamark through the stencil, because we're going to heat emboss this in the gold. Oh, see, this will be quite nice just as a watermark as well. You'll see in a moment once I do the reveal. So let's get that good and inky. You can see that's changed colour. It's gone quite dark now underneath. There we go, so that's that done. I'm just going to now just peel this little bit up here. And we will have a little look. And there we go. That there is my Versamarked card. I'm happy with that. So we put that to one side. You know what, I'm going to try something with this. I'm going to do another technique. I'm going to go off piece. This could go completely and utterly pear-shaped. I'll finish this card off first though. Alright, so that there, just unpick all of this. Keep your removable tape for later on, because you might use it again. Very much. Some of them are sticky. That one's a sticky one, so I'm gonna, because that's got Versamark on it. But these ones here, which haven't, save those. And put that to one side. Alright, so actually I'll turn it over and use the other side now, so which hasn't got the Versamark on it. put a little crease in your paper, grab your gold embossing powder and just chuck it on. And then what we'll do is transfer that back and then do the other half. Okay, so just give it a little bit of a blow off camera there just to get rid of any of the stubborn bits which are sticking to areas where you don't want them to. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So, that's good. Okay, so that there is now my piece which has now got the embossing powder on it. So the embossing powder is on there and ready to now be in heat set. So if you haven't seen this before, this is where the magic actually happens. Okay, so we will grab this. We're going to take our heat tool. Let's give myself a bit of room. I'm going to take our heat tool and I am going to turn this on. I'm going to get it nice and hot, so it's going to get a bit loud in a moment. I'm going to turn the machine on and then just watch it change, okay? And there we go. That there is, oh, I've missed a bit. And that's what it is, that's what heat embossing is. So it's just, it just adds a really nice, you can do this in any of the colours. You've got it in gold, silver, copper, white. Just missed a little bit down the bottom down there, so I'll just put some more powder on. Pop your lid on before you do any heat embossing just to protect it. And then we'll just heat set that last little part. Okay, doesn't take long at all. Alright, so you can see how pretty that is. I've got a few stray bits in here, and the reason being it's my fault. I forgot to do it at the beginning. I got the embossing buddy out ready to do it, but I forgot to embossing buddy my piece of cardstock. So what I mean by that is that before you do any sticky stuff with the Versamark, your fingers have got grease on it, and I've been touching the cardstock, and obviously I've transferred some of my finger grease has gone over onto the card. So therefore when you put the powder on it, it sticks to it because it's moisture. This embossing buddy, what I should have done is I should have put it all over the top of it first. That will then take away any excess, any stick which you don't want on the cardstock. Then I should have then done my Versamark. Then I should have then put the powder on top. Then that would have then avoided those little speckles which I've got here. But I'm not going to worry about those too much. It's not major. It's not as if I got a big thumbprint right in the middle of it. If I had that, obviously I wouldn't like it, but it's not ruined it too much. It's just added a little bit on there. But that's it. That is the heat embossing. Look how pretty that is. That's beautiful, isn't it? And it looks gold. Golden red is very, very crisp and very regal. So I've used regal colours actually from the Stampin' Up colour family this year. And regal it is. It's beautiful. Right, so I've heat embossed it as well, so it's buckled the paper a little bit, so I just need to manipulate that back in again and make that flat. So pretty much all I'm going to do now is construct the card. But yeah, let's finish this card, and then I'm going to have a play with something, so I've got an idea. So I'm going to take my striped ribbon here, and I am just going to cut a piece off like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. So what can I cover up any of this down here? Yeah, let's do it this way. So I'm going to put some sticky tape just here. And I'm going to grab my pokey tool, which is just behind me. And I'm just going to remove that. And I'm just going to stick this. So let's just make sure I get this nice and straight. So I'm going to use my grid paper here to help me out. There we go. And then I will just take some of this double-sided tape, put this round the back like so, stick that down. I'll do the same for the other side. Like that. Okay, so there is my ribbon stuck to my card. Just manipulate that into place a little bit. And there we go. Let's take some of the foam pads now. So the main star of the show is the embossing, powder, and those new Basic Patterns Decorative Masks, and it's just a great way of making a very simple and quick card, and having a bit of a play as well, which is what we all want. We're crafters, so we want to play. We want to get ourselves. We want a quick card, but we want it to be effective, and we want it to be wow. And I think embossing definitely is that wow. Okay, so just take these last little bits off. And we will stick this to the very vanilla cardstock, which I pre-cut. So I'm looking for an even edge here, even edge and even edge. And then hopefully, if my calculations are correct, just give that a little bit of manipulation. That's it. So don't stick it down completely, because in that way you can manipulate. Okay, that there is now onto my very vanilla, and that can now get stuck onto the shaded spruce. So again, look for even Stevens. There we go. And because it's a wet glue, obviously I've got a little bit of wiggle room here. With the foam pads, you don't have as much wiggle room, so just make sure with the foam pads you don't push them down straight away. You can like just lay them on top. Then if you need to manipulate it, you can still at least move it. So there we go, that's that part done. If we take the bit which we done earlier on, that's had time to dry up now. Okay, so we will take our foam pads once again. And those in there like so. Just take those backends off. And that there is now just going to sit. I need to look at this. Just going to sit above that cardstock like that, above that ribbon, like so. I'll just manipulate that ribbon into place a little bit. And there we go. That there is my Christmas card using the Basic Patterns Decorative Masks and embossing gold through it. Okay, I think that's really pretty. Myself, I really like that. It was really nice. Okay, I did the original one, which is this one here. So I've done it in two. I've done it slightly differently on the second one. So the first one I did as I was deciding what to do, I did exactly the same, but I've done it on very vanilla card base with the shaded spruce layer and 2 bits of ribbon. On this one, I've done it the other way round, a shaded spruce as a card base and the very vanilla, and only 1 stripe of ribbon. If I really wanted to, there's nothing stopping me. I could probably pop another bit of ribbon above there if I want to. I could probably still get that in, a bit of tape. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it as the one for this one here. So there is my 2 cards. All right, so great. So thank you for watching. That's the end of the video. So what I'm going to do now, right, is I'm going to go off piece. So if you want to carry on, please stay. I'm going to try something. I'm going to have a play because this mask here, which I've done the stenciling through, has still got a load of Versamark on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through the Big Shot, and I am going to then heat emboss the negative side of it. Okay, so I'd say that's the positive and this is the negative. So I'm just going to do that. So if you just want to bear with me, I'm just going to have a bit of a play. So I'm just going to need to get myself some more cardstock. Just going to there we go, just trip over everything. Just going to trim this down to down to a size for a moment. So what I'm doing is I'm trimming a piece of cherry cobbler down to 14.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. Okay, which is just under 8, which is just under your 6x6. So it's that size again there. So now I didn't plan on doing this. Grab your Big Shot. You'll also need some scrap paper. Just need to cut that down to size. I'm just going to take a little bit off this scrap paper so it goes through the machine. Okay. Pop your paper in like so. Or what we can do is we can pop your stencil in, then pop your, okay, I'm going to do what I forgot to do earlier on. Grab your embossing buddy. I'm going to show you what I mean. Grab your embossing buddy and take off any, I nearly forgot to, I'm always forgetting to do this and I'm probably not the only one. It's a load of powder which goes on there. Okay, so that's that. We can wipe any excess away later on. So bring the Big Shot back in again. I'm going to stick just drop that on top. Grab the second plate. And run that through the machine. Okay. I'm just going to do something else for a moment. Need some more scrap paper. So what I want to put a couple of pieces of scrap paper. So I want to add a bit more of a shim to this. A bit of scrap paper down there. So it's just going to add a little bit more thickness, because what I'm going to do is hopefully emboss this cardstock as well. So rather than heat emboss it, we're going to also push the pattern through it as well a little bit, just by adding a couple of pieces of paper as a shim. There we go. So, the moment of truth. This may or may not work, we will see. If it doesn't, we will use it as an experiment. And there we go. So I have now transferred that old Versamark has now gone onto that cardstock. Obviously, the reason I've done it as a big piece is because I didn't know what pieces were actually covered with Versamark, so I've made sure I've covered all bases. So what I would do is I would cut this bit down. Then take that off. Grab your gold embossing powder again, or whatever colour you want, and pour it back on. Okay. It's a good way of using up your embossing powders. If you're anything like us, you've probably got loads of it. And more than you can actually use. So we will just do that. So I'm not going to do a whole card with this, I'm just going to show you what the technique is. To make sure you get the best out of your stencils as well, because there was Versamark on it, which would be a shame to waste, and you can see how much is actually on there. I'll make a card with this afterwards, and we'll then post it. We'll post it at the same time on our blog. Okay. So that's used quite a bit of powder, but it hasn't used that much powder, if I'm completely honest with you. I've still got a load left in there, loads. I could do loads of these cards. So that there is our embossing. So I'm just going to heat emboss this now. So grab the tool out, okay, it's going to get loud, and I'll stop in a moment. And there we go. There is my heat embossed negative. So I have got the positive, I would say, from this one here, and then you've got the negative, so the excess which was on the mask has now gone onto a bit of card. And you can see, because I run it through a couple of shims as well, you can see the bits which hasn't been done, it's actually caught it as well, so it's actually embossed it. So that's also how you would emboss through a stencil as well. You can use a stencil to emboss your cardstock. So don't just use your stencils for stenciling, use them for embossing as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly trim this down. Okay, just bear with me, I haven't got the trimmer here, so it's to the side of me. So I'm just going to trim this down. Let's have a little look. So I will probably do it at... have a little look. 12.5, so it's 12.5. I'm going to leave it like that, actually. I'm not going to do this. You don't need to see me trim it. So yeah, I've just trimmed it down to size anyway. I need to work out what I want to do with this card first before I trim it down. But I've taken off the excess, so you can see there that's what that's going to look like. All right, so there was my two projects. The project I was going to show you, and my off-piece bit using the excess on your stencil. So don't clean this. Usually you clean this via running it back through your machine again to take off any of that excess, because that has now taken a load of that off. So you're only going to wash it off anyway, so why not create something out of it? All right, so great. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us. Remember, if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button for future updates to our YouTube videos, or follow us over on social media or on any of the other ones. Just search them Mitosu Crafts, and you'll be able to find us over on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all of them. Just search Mitosu Crafts, and you will find us over there. Links to our online shop are down below. So if you like any of the products which we've used today, you can find them down below, or link directly to our shop at least, where you can go on there and find them on our online shop. But thank you for joining us, or for joining me. Me and Jay will be back on Sunday evenings, about 7 o'clock in the evening, doing projects together. So if you want to see the two of us create, you can see us then. Our videos are also here over on YouTube, so you can catch us. You can catch any of the replays back again as well. Lovely. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you very soon. Thanks very much. Bye.